Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. My name is Nur Arifah binti Mafli and my team members are Nur Syafiqah binti Jamaluddin, Nur Atika binti Muhammad Suhaizan and Nurin Nabila binti Ma'ali. So today we are going to present about Rumah Gadang Indonesia. So the topic that we will discuss about Rumah Gadang is the background, the form of Rumah Gadang and the constructions. Firstly, the background of Rumah Gadang is actually a house for the Minangkabau people. So Rumah Gadang means big house, or the other name of Rumah Gadang is Rumah Bagonjong. It is a traditional homes of Minangkabau in West Sumatra, Indonesia. Rumah Gadang serve as a residence and used for family meetings and ceremonial activity. It owned by the woman of the family, and ownership is passed from mother to daughter. This is basically the look or the design of Rumah Gadang. It has a dramatic curve of roof structure and also upswept gables, and the windows are built into walls insist with profuse painted floral carvings.
Assalamualaikum, my name is Nur Atika binti Muhammad Suhaizan, and now I'm going to explain about architectural elements. So, a communal rumah gadang is a long house, rectangular in plan, with multiple gables and upsweeping ridges forming buffalo horn-like ends. They are normally have 3 tiered projections, each with varying floor levels. They are broad and set on wooden piles that can reach as high as 3 meters off the ground. This one is the architecture elements. Each element of a rumah gadang has its own symbolic meaning, which is referred to in adat speech and aphorisms. The elements of a rumah gadang includes, the first one is gonjong, is a horn-like roof structure. Second is singok, a triangular wall under the ends of gonjong. Third is pereng, which is the shelf under the singok. The fourth is anjuang. It is a raised floor at the end of one style of rumah gadang. 5 is dindang are, which is the walls on the side of elevation. 6 is dindang tapi, the walls on the front and back elevation. 7 is papan banyak, which is the front facade. 8 is papan sakapiang, a shelf or middle band on the periphery of the house. And last but not least is salangko, which is wall enclosing space under a house that has been built on stilts. A number of rice barns, in other words, is rangkyang, ideally accompany a rumah gadang, with each having a different name and function. The rangkyang Sintijau Lawi contains rice for the family, particularly for adat ceremonies. Second is the rangkyang Sintakalapa, contains rice for donation to poor villages and for times of famine in the village. And last one is the rangkyang Sibayau Bayau, contains rice for the daily needs of the family.
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. My name is Nur Nabila, and now I'm going to explain about ornamentation. And there's a quote said, a well-known adat aphorism says, nature is our teacher. Okay, the Minangkabau, which is the rumah gadang, traditionally embellished the wooden walls, pillars and ceilings of the rumah gadang with bas-relief carved wooden motifs that reflect and symbolize the adat. The motifs consist of profuse floral designs based on a simple underlying geometric structure, and the motifs are similar to those of the Minangkabau woven songket textiles, with colours thought to have been derived from Chinese brocades. And it does not show animals or humans in a realistic form, as it is an expression that always based upon the natural environment. So there's 94 motifs that had been observed on Rumah Gadang, which are categorized into 3. The first one is the flora, which consists of 37 types. And the types are Kaluak Paku, Saluak Laka, and Pucuak Rabang. Okay, the next category is the fauna, which consists of 28 types. And the examples are Tupai Tatagun, Itik Pulang Petang, and Kumbang Janting, which is the golden bumblebee. The last category is the human and their behavior, which consists of 29 types, which consists of Raja Tiga, Kambang Mani, and lastly is the Jalo Takambang, which is the activity of casting a net.
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. So my name is Shafika Buksanayuddin and my matric number is 20196. So this is the quote that I found about the variation, is that variation is the sense of the universe. So let's start with the variation of the Rumah Gadang. So basically it was built in two basic design, which are called as a koto piliang, and also the one is body kinyatu. And both of these is to reflect between two variations of Minangkabau social structure. Okay. When the people enter through the doorway at the center, that is especially surrounded by a perpendicular porch. This one, okay, you can see the porch, and with a triangle and upsweeping bridge in. Okay, so the variation that do not have the entry, variation that do not have the entry is called as a Bapasera or Suram Kopek. So other than that, the variation of the Rumah Gadang is that the larger house have high walls. From the outside we can see it have a high walls, and also the multiple roof and supported by columns. This roof is supported by the columns. Next, the variation of the columns are called as Gajah Maharam, which it has a 40 columns, and Raja Bandia with 50 pillars and a mosque in the form. Lastly, it has a council hall, which is also known as Balai Adat, and this type of building is usually used for the clan leaders. For the purpose of this council hall is for the meeting.
Next is construction of foundation. The footing foundation had been applied in Rumah Gadang, which it is placed at the bottom of the substructure and transfer the building loads directly to the supporting soil by vertical pressure, as some of the footings are half buried in the soil. And the footing of Rumah Gadang is known as Batu Sandi, which is black colored, usually obtained from the river of the Pariangan village. And lastly, the columns are assembled onto the footings without nails or any jointing, but are placed on top of the sandi to endure earthquake.
Next is construction of wall of Rumah Gadang. The wall provides protection from external elements and providing comfort to the people who living in it. It consists of two layers, which is external layers and internal layers. It's to prevent animals or insects from getting into the house, and also protection from the rain. There are two types of wall in the Rumah Gadang. First is dinding ari. It is the front side of the house, and second is dinding tapi. It is the sides of the house. Dinding ari located in the front of the house, and it is made from timber. It has different design of carving generated from the nature. The bottom of the dinding ari, it has papan sakapiang. The wall has openings to allow the ventilation of the kandang, and the breezing passing through this area also helps to cool the floor and ventilate the house. And the bottom part of the Rumah Gadang has salangko. It has the same features as papan sakapiang, but the name is different. Next is dinding tapi. Dinding tapi is actually the walls at the side of the house, and it made of bambu called sasak bugis. Sasak bugis treated by soaking it in the water for the duration of time. It actually the process for make the bamboo strong and long lasting, and also protects from the wind. It's attached to the structural components of the house. After the structural components, it is completely built. And this is compare salsa of dinding tapi. It on the structure, it on the texture of the dinding tapi.
Okay, now I'm going to explain about construction of floor of Rumah Gadang. Rumah Gadang can be differs depending on the space. Bamboo is used for the floor finishes in all space except for the Serambing, which use timber floor finishes. And Rumah Gadang use traditional method for the construction floor. Okay, for the first piece is using nails to secure the connection at the veranda floor. Basic floor construction consists of beam, primary joists, secondary joists, and floor finishes. And the material used are different according to spaces. For the second P is each Rumah Gadang use different method at different spaces. And most of the floor construction are using bamboo. The third P is the floor constructed by connecting the primary joist to the beam using tongue and groove system. Secondary joist is placed in an opposite direction, and floor finishes then laid on top, and some of the finishes are nailed to the joist. And for the last peak is the section of the floor showing the split level between bandua and labua. The floorboard is nailed to the joist to secure the connections.
So the next one is the construction of the roof. Okay. So first of all, Rumah Gadang is usually used to truss and cross beam construction. Okay, so how this truss and cross beam construction? It looks like this. Okay, this is how it looks like. Okay, and then it's covered with thatch from the fiber of the sugar palm. Okay, which is was known as the toughest material, and it will last 100 years. Okay, this is the thatch. Okay, and this thatch is like in bundles. Okay, you can see us in bundles, and it can be easily fitted to the curved and multi-gabled roof, which is same with the Rumah Gadang roof. Okay, other than that, for the roof finials, has the pitch from thatch bound. It is for the decorative metal bindings, and it is also to resemble buffalo horns. Okay, resemble buffalo horns. It is also an illusion to a legend about a battle between two water buffaloes. It also have many small buildings and
Conclusions. Traditional Rumah Gadang in West Sumatra represent the province Minangkabau people and have become an emblem of West Sumatra and Minangkabau culture. Throughout the district, various buildings exhibits Rumah Gadang architectural features ranging from Syrian vernacular monastery structure designed for traditional ceremonies to more conventional contemporary structures such